Welcome to our VIP room at the DPW 2022 conference, and we are here in Amsterdam. I'm so excited to be here today and to be interviewing a lot of speakers and guests and partners. My name is Desiree, and I'm here with Stephany, the CEO of TealBook, if I'm right.
That's right.
Welcome to this stage.
Thank you, Desiree, for having me.
I'm going to deep dive into the topic I'm thrilled to talk about with you. And I've read, or I saw actually, I didn't read the whole report. There was a report by Deloitte, and it's called, I have to sneak peek, the Deloitte Global Chief Procurement Officer Survey. And it showed that CPOs today are prioritizing supply chain data quality like never before, with some even ranking the supply chain data a higher priority as cost savings. I was surprised by that. So where in the procurement lifecycle do we actually need quality supplier data?
Well, it's really everywhere. And so when you think about the investment that you're making in suppliers, from discovering to sourcing, to doing diligence, to contracting with them, onboarding, paying, and the list goes on, you need information about suppliers. And to this date, supplier data has been collected through software, workflow, having suppliers coming to portals across a different functional team. But what's really difficult is, one, suppliers coming to portals because they don't usually come, not at scale and not ongoingly. There's not enough motivation for the number of portals that are now, being implemented. And it's very difficult to connect these systems to each other. And even if you could, now you're connecting data that's not great across multiple systems into a data lake. So it's still missing a lot of context and perspective. When we think about spend data or cost saving, we've been actually pretty good at monitoring spend data, implemented source to pay. And the one data point that the organization has had is actually invoice data, transactional data. So we've had spend data for a long time. There's still always room for improvement, but at least we've had visibility into spend. But spend is only a small portion of the whole story. And especially with all the disruption that we've seen in the past couple of years with COVID, you need so much more information about your suppliers to make sure that you are, aware, you have the insight that you need to drive better, faster decisions. And if you don't have good data, you're basically not, enabled to actually have this agility and the ability to respond and to build, better, more agile, sustainable supply chains. And so I'm not surprised to see that Deloitte and CPOs are prioritizing data quality over spend. I think it's because they've somehow managed spend for many years. They're more comfortable there, but it's all the information that they need to collect, that they need to enrich, they need to report on across so many requirements, so much disruption. It's almost overwhelming. So data quality is so important, and that's what we focus on at TealBook.
My next question, why is supplier data then critical to digital procurement success? You actually explained
I did explain quite already. A bit, but I think what's important, and I was sitting with a CPO of a large CPG company today, and the ability to have visibility into things that are happening either before they happen or the moment that they happen, and then be able to have also the information to respond to those changes is really critical. And more today, board members are putting requirements on companies, the CEO, the CFO, the CIO, they want to have information because they understand more than ever how critical the supply chain is to business continuity, to being competitive, to actually even stay in business. And it's procurement's opportunity, right, to be able to deliver that value. And again, if they don't have good quality data across their entire supplier base, they're really missing, they're not tapping into this amazing asset that could drive, a lot of insight and hundreds of millions of dollars in value if they could.
Yeah, so this quality is becoming more and more important. Then 92% of procurement executives claim not having quality data during and post-pandemic. How is this possible?
Well, it's not shocking, right?
No.
Again, I think it's the question of who has good data? Where do you need this good data? And then people not be able to answer because it's been such a big problem. In the past, we thought, let's put software and worry about the data after, but that's changed. Data is so important. Software is the opportunity to build workflow and processes, but you actually need data to augment the information in those systems to have better processes, better workflow, ultimately better insights so you can drive better decisions. And so, I've been on this mission to solve, like sort of turn the model upside down. Let's feed better data because there's data everywhere. So unifying that data, push it through the system so that whoever needs the information across all the different teams, across the entire procurement life cycle, is able to consume better information, make more trusted, better quality decision, and they can also validate or check or correct some records that then come back. Then it's the organization that benefits it. And so when you look at teams, especially in procurement, if you're so focused on your function and collecting information for your own requirements and your own goals, to me, you're just focusing on your goals or your team's goals. But when you're thinking, how does that data connect to the rest of the organization? How is my data benefiting the rest of the organization so that our company can be, just more insightful, more competitive? Then you're really thinking about the performance of the organization.
You do. But what is then the problem of the challenge, I should say, of gathering this high quality data? Is that the data itself, where to find it, or to connect the data with each
all
other?
All of the above, because there's so much data available inside system, outside systems, outside the organization, and people's head. So it's not the lack of data, is how do you actually grab it? And just again, in traditional method, it's software through portals, inviting suppliers. There's definitely a supplier fatigue because there's so many portals and suppliers, they just don't come. And so that's one of the challenges, is that if you're depending on suppliers, then what do you need to do if they don't come? Then you need to supplement this information. And we've built an entire infrastructure so far to try to overcome this challenge, not really thinking, hey, we could solve the data a different way. Then there's the other challenge that if I did connect my systems to each other and the data was not great, and I want to add AI, well, for AI to be valuable, you need a lot of data. If you're connecting your systems and your data is not great and full of duplicates and incomplete, it's going to tell you something. It's just not going to be amazing. And that's right. And then you have only the limited relationship that you have with the supplier. It's what you don't know that's becoming increasingly more important. Like the risk around the relationship, the disruptions, the changes that they're making, their commitment to ESG targets, all of that is very, very difficult to access. So we've built the infrastructure to be able to ingest a lot of data and prioritizing requirements that our customers have been really interested in, from basic company information to looking at ESG, diversity, risk, firmographic classification, all of this data point that we can start enhancing. And our investment is how do we continue to ingest more data across more requirements, make those attributes much better over time, so better quality across more suppliers and more geography, so that our customers don't have to do it. We can then give it in a format that's integrated to their technology, merging their own supplier base to our data platform, and then make the investment in their technology so much better, make better decisions, to drive better business outcome. So it's an amazing opportunity that right now procurement has, is to leverage the technology, not trying to build all of this themselves, because it's a big undertaking, very expensive, that takes years, and they just don't have to do it anymore.
Yeah. What is then TealBook exactly do to solve this big data challenge?
I think I've been kind of selling TealBook along the way, but we are a supplier data platform.
Yeah.
We unify, enrich, collect, distribute better quality data to power the end-to-end procurement life cycle. That means that, again, our data that we've created, these digital profile on 5.5 million suppliers globally so far, and we're continuously expanding across more attributes. We give our customers a visibility to understand, is it good data or is it data that's still in progress, and then choose the data that they want based on the quality and where do they want to distribute this data into. It could be a data cloud, it could be a digital solution, it could be a BI tool, it could be their ERP, their source to pay, so that they can now automate good data across those systems. And then we've given them the mechanism to either retire the data that's not good enough or actually due diligence to validate those data points so that they can then automate. So they're already doing this right now, but giving them the mechanism that they can do it at scale is really, really powerful. So again, very, very focused on supplier data. We do have an application, very focused on accessing information. So if your CEO says, like, how many suppliers we have in Russia, like, you need the information. If you ask most procurement team, they will smile and they say it will it's possible. It's not going to be easy. What we want is information query based on what they need, who they are, and so that they have the insight to be able to, answer questions, make better decisions ultimately. So that's where we're focusing our application, but really not to compete, to enhance what our customers have already invested for workflow and processes.
Thank you so much. And I wish you a lot of luck doing that in the future. And I hope you will enjoy this conference.
Oh, it's amazing. The energy is palatable. There's so much innovation, transformation, and see what's happened in the last couple of years is just so incredibly inspiring and energizing. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.